On the phone with the head coach of the Southeast Cyclones, Mark Bullington, ahead of their season opening game coming up as they take on fourth-ranked Shoshoni. It's our WyoPreps Game of the Week. And first of all, Mark, describe how your preparation has gone, particularly adjusting your team from 11-man to 9-man football here.
Well, we got to make sure that your kickers are going because I still think there's going to be a lot of scoring. It's a wide open. It's a whole different ball game. Just so many things that are different. You wouldn't think 4 people off the field would make that much difference, but it's amazing.
What has been the kids' understanding of 9-man and how you guys as coaches have even understood this game and have adjusted?
Well, it's quicker. I mean, offensively, look, there's not a whole lot of pocket if you want to throw the ball when you have 3 or 4 people in there, unless you stack them in there. But I think our kids have adjusted well. It kind of fits us better because we're a little short on linemen. We have been for the last 2 or 3 years. So it kind of fits our game better because we have more skilled people and we have pretty good speed. So I think it fits us better than the 11-man game.
I almost get the sense of it's like taking the tackle positions off the field and then everything else kind of opens up. Would you agree with that?
That's about it. It's the tackles are off and you still have 5 backs and you have 5 receivers. You still have 3 backs. So there's a lot of options and a lot of area to cover.
What have you had to do and the rest of your staff to try and get your kids geared up for a 9-man game, which we haven't seen in this state in nearly 3 decades?
I know our kids are excited, but we're kind of senior loaded right now. We have 8 or 9 seniors, and these kids some of them started for 3 or 4 years, so they took their beating a couple of years ago. So I think they're ready for the season.
I got to ask you, you were the preseason #1 in our coaches and media poll. Were you kind of surprised at that, Mark, or were you hoping for those lofty expectations?
I don't go by polls, really. I mean, it's nice and you can puff your chest out a little bit, but you still got to win one game. You got to take games one at a time. And, I thought we would be the preseason favorite because we returned a lot of seniors. Outside of Bighorn, we played with kind of everybody, so... And then with Bighorn and Upton moving up, I thought we would probably be the preseason favorite.
Talk a little bit about what's maybe been the biggest adjustment you and your staff and your kids have had to make as we all go through this unfortunate COVID situation here, Coach.
It's just the practice time and the social distancing and reminding kids when you're not on the field to stay. Kids just gravitate together.
Right.
I mean, they're just social butterflies, if you want to say that, but that's the hardest part. Just keep staying on the kids, and I told them, like Ron Aaron said, a successful season is a finished season. That's what we keep preaching to them. We don't know when they're just going to say, okay, we're shut down.
You have a tough draw. I mean, you've got another ranked foe. Do you like that, Mark? Just maybe kind of getting a big test out of the gate right away.
Yeah, it's good for our kids. Kind of measuring stick and see what we need to work on, and Shoshoni they've got a good crew. They've got a lot of kids back from last year, and it was no pushover when we went over there. So it's going to be a good ball game.
Yeah, I was going to say you and Coach Truempler know each other from 11-man days. Now you have to adjust to a 9-man game. But what do you kind of anticipate out of his squad?
I think everyone is just basically running their same offense, and then they're going to have some wrinkles in it. And I see Lusk is still running the old power eye, and I think Tony's still running that inverted bone, and so they're going to have new wrinkles in it, and we'll have new wrinkles in ours. But you still have your basic, what your bread and butter plays are.
I don't want you to give away your game playing, Mark, but what are some basic keys when you think about early in the season? Most coaches say, "Hey, we got to worry about ourselves." So, what are you looking for out of your squad Friday? It's
like any football game. You can't make mistakes. You can't turn the ball over. It's not any different than 11-man. You gotta get the ball in your playmakers' hands. And I think that's one advantage we have. We have a lot of weapons. I mean, we don't have just a tailback that's going to carry 45 times a game. We have kids that can catch the ball, kids that can run. We have, I have 3 backs. I've got a really hammer. I got a speed guy, and I have a shifty guy. So we're going to run different people at them, and like I say, you don't have any scout film on them. So
right.
It's not like you can sit down and look for tendencies because it's a whole different ball game.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, best of luck against the Shoshoni Wranglers on Friday. I appreciate your time today.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
On the phone with the head coach of the Shoshoni Wranglers, Tony Truempler. And Tony, first of all, I got to start. What's the adjustment been like for you, your staff, and the kids going from where you've been down to 9-man football this year?
There's been big adjustments. Mainly for me and my staff, it's been the defensive side of the ball, just because we're playing on the same size field, and we're taking 2 players off the field. Offensively, the offensive that we ran in the past, it's pretty easy to transition down to 9-man.
What is the excitement level for your group getting a chance to play a different brand of football? How have the kids reacted to going to 9-man?
When we first went down, they're like, "Oh, why we don't want to do this?" But now that we're rolling at it, they actually kind of like it. It suits. If we're not quite as a big team, but we're pretty speedy, so that helps a lot. It kind of fits into our wheelhouse a little bit.
You guys haven't played a game yet. How would you describe how practice and leading up to a game has gone?
It's gone really well. The kids we're clicking pretty well. We're way ahead of where we were last year, week 1. I know that much.
Who are you looking to kind of lead and guide your team here in 2020?
Truempler, he's our quarterback, running back, and plays linebacker for us. And Johnny Hilder. Johnny Hilder is kind of the rock on the offensive line. He's also a senior and plays DN for us. And then we have a new student that moved in, Caden Dower. He's a senior also. He's another running back. And they're all really good leaders and kind of the backbone of the team.
Obviously, getting a chance to play Southeast on Friday. Both of you were thought of highly when it came to our preseason WyoPreps.com coaches and media football rankings. And I know rankings amount to a hill of beans until we get a little deeper into the season. But, what do you take away from a big matchup like this in your first game of the season when it's year number 4 and you're playing the preseason top-ranked team?
Right. No, I'm excited for it. It seems like every year we play Southeast in the playoffs and we were 11-man, and going into this, it's like, we play them anyway, so why not play them right out of the gate? And I think it'll be a good test for both of us to see where we are. And we've talked to the boys a lot, and it's like, go down there, play. Hopefully we walk out with a win, but if we don't, if it's a good game, then we know where we are. And hopefully, in 7 weeks or 8 weeks, 9 weeks, I guess, when it comes down to the state championship, hopefully we're playing them again.
Talk about what are you anticipating? I know you probably don't have any film on anybody because nobody's played 9-man in nearly 3 decades in this state, but you mentioned the fact that you have typically played Southeast a lot. What do you kind of anticipate out of a Mark Bullington squad? A
good football team. Mark's a great coach. His staff, he has good coaches, and he does a good job getting kids ready. They're big. We got a little bit of film on them for their scrimmage. Granted, it's a scrimmage, just like ours was, but they're big, and they're not afraid to hit. So that's kind of where we're ready to go. So
it's early in the season, and I know a lot of coaches kind of go by the mantra of let's worry about ourselves more than the opposition. So I don't want you to give away your game plan, but what are some things that you need to see out of your squad to give you a chance to win?
We got to tackle low, and we got to gang tackle. That's a big thing for us, and we can't make mental mistakes. I know they're going to happen because they're obviously not making 6 and 7 figures. They're still high school kids.
Exactly.
But just little things that we can't. But if we do make a mistake, we can't fall apart because we are young. I have 17 sophomores on my team.
Wow.
Yeah. I have 5 seniors and I think 5 juniors, and the rest are pretty much sophomores and 5 freshmen. So right around, yeah. We're young, that's for sure.
I got to ask, is it kind of playing almost 11-man football, but you take the tackles off the field, basically?
Basically, yeah. Depending on what you want to run, there's times that your tight ends now are tackles or whatever, or if you're spreading the field, you just have a center and 2 guards, stuff like that.
Yeah. I got to ask, do you think fans around the state will like 9-man football?
I think it's definitely could be a little bit like 6-man in the high scoring aspect of it. I think they will.
Okay.
I know going down to 9-man. We had some locals that weren't real excited about it. And, I think once they see a few games, they'll realize it's not that much different from 11-man.
Yeah, it's a little more 11-man-esque than 6-man is, that's for sure, because 6-man is just wide open. There's no doubt about that. So, well, hey, Tony, thanks so much for your time today. Best of luck Friday as you take on the top-ranked Cyclones in your first 9-man football game.
All right, thanks very much.